Manager Bud Black here. We will start with Danielle. Danielle, go ahead.
Hi, buddy. That felt like one of the more well-rounded road wins for the Rockies this year. Did you feel the same way tonight?
Well, I thought we played well. Brendan would like to have that, one grounder back in the eighth, but overall, I thought we threw the ball well. I think Kyle was solid. Jolice was solid. Daniel solid. Carlos after the leadoff. The leadoff base hit and the wild pitch, bared down and punched out the side. So good all-around win. A couple big hits. Chuck got us on the board, gave us a little momentum early. Elias with the late home run in the eighth was a big one there to give us a little breathing room in the ninth. Crony had a big swing like he's been doing lately. So I thought we swung the bats pretty well, and I thought we pitched outstanding.
Charlie Blackmon has hit a lot of milestones in his career, and he hit another one tonight with that home run to move up the franchise home run leaderboard. What's it been like watching him over these past couple of seasons, not only, continue to produce, but also grow into this leadership role for the team and help out all the younger players?
It's been great, Danielle. I think that, there's so much to say about Charlie. I don't want to, take up a lot of time here, but I could speak, for a strong half hour easy about Charlie Blackmon and what he means to this organization and what he's meant to the teams that he's played on while he's been a Rocky. But, I've said many times, he's a true professional. He takes pride in his work, takes pride in his job. He goes about it the right way. Preparation off the charts, maybe the best I've ever seen in 40 years as a player, executive, pitching coach, manager. I can go on. I'll put it this way. The guys on this team or who have played with Charlie, especially as he moved into a little bit of service time or have been lucky to play with a guy like that.
Thank you.
We'll go to Nick Rowe.
Yeah, hey, buddy, you had Daniel in the eighth. I know you mentioned the other day that he's in some, a bit of a slump lately.
Right.
Is this, are you just maybe giving a bit of a breather out of the ninth, or is this something?
Just giving a different look, Nick, for sure. I talked to Daniel before the game and with Steve and Daryl, the two pitching coaches. And this is just a step back to exhale a bit. He pitched in a 3-2 game in the eighth inning at Dodger Stadium against Will Smith, Bellinger, and Trey Turner and Justin Turner. So it's not really a breather, right? But it was just a different look for him. He's been the last 2 years one of our most reliable pitchers. He's got 20 plus saves. He's got a ton of strikeouts. I think there's just some things that we needed to rework a little bit, I think, moving forward for Daniel for the rest of this year and next year. I think just some philosophical stuff that we talked through today that, I don't want to get into, but I think it will help him. So this is just a different look for him. And, maybe Carlos gets a little momentum, and his heartbeat gets going a little bit pitching in the ninth inning, because I'm a believer. And I know a lot of people disagree with me, but most don't, who've been in my chair or in the dugout or executive. The ninth inning is different than other innings. I'll just leave it at that.
I'm sorry. And then I'm trying to understand you correctly. Do you foresee Carlos doing this again, or is it just his turn tonight?
No, I see him doing this again.
Okay, and then with him in the ninth, he was very aggressive with the changeup. Is that something that he came to? Was that at all your urging? That's when I know you don't call pitches.
That's part of his mix. It's high velocity fastball with a good changeup and a hard slider. I think it was a slider to Pollock, I believe, that struck him out. He's got 3 pitches. I think they're all quality. They're all above average when he throws. When he gets them in the strike zone. So. He's a weapon. he's pitched pretty solid. We got to, here, I mean, every pitcher has to, keep improving and work on their craft. And there's some things that he's going to continue to work on. But, he's, like I said this afternoon, he's got, he's got some saves under his belt. That was a while ago, though, right? That was 16, I believe, or 15 and 16. Before I was here, we were fortunate to have Holland, who led the league in saves. Davis led the league in saves. 19 was a tough year for our bullpen, but Carlos has the stuff. Now it's whether he can handle the ninth inning. Early in his career, he had a nice little start to his career. We'll see how it goes, but it should be a big confidence booster what he did today.
I'm sorry, just and one more real quick on this. But,
Sure, no problem.
It seemed like Carlos was really amped to start that ninth. Did Diaz bring him down a little bit? Did you see how did they settle in?
Well, I tried to get his attention from the dugout for sure to calm down. I saw Elias did the same thing too. After the base hit and the ball to the backstop, I could see him just rushing a little bit, being a little quick in between the pitches. We tried to slow him down a little bit, take a deep breath, which it looked like he did. I mean, Elias did a good job slowing the pace down a little bit once he received the ball from Carlos after each pitch was made. So much better.
Awesome. Thanks, buddy.
All right, any final questions for Bud tonight? We'll finish up with Mike Singer. Go ahead, Mike.
Hey, buddy, before the game, you said you wanted to see Kyle mix in all of his pitches. You wanted to see him move the ball inside, outside of the plate. How do you think he did in that regard tonight?
I thought he did a really good job with the fastball tonight. I think that was the key to the game. I mean, I think they did a good job of hitting on a couple fastballs. I think they anticipated a couple fastballs in certain counts, and they got the barrel to it. The inning that they hit the 2 homers. But I thought the curveball, the slider, and the change were solid today, especially the slider and the curve. Didn't throw a ton of changeups, but again, 4-pitch mix. But I think the ball strike ratio was great. They made him work a little bit. The 3rd, 4th, and 5th innings, pitch count got a little high. But that's what they do. I mean, that's what their group of players do. They're very tough. They got great plate discipline. They have ability to foul off some pitches. They take borderline pitches. But I thought Kyle did a really good job with the fastball tonight, and the slider and the curve were, I thought, outstanding.
We know how competitive Kyle is, but to see his reaction when Carlos struck out the side there in the 9th, did you see anything special or different in terms of his competitiveness tonight?
No, that's what he does every game, whether he's the pitcher of record or not. He's a Rocky, he's a Rocky fan from the time he was a little boy. I love that about Kyle, that he's from Denver and he's playing for his favorite team. He's like that every night. He really is. So that's not surprising.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Thank you, guys.
For your turn, buddy.
Okay.
We'll have Kyle Freeland in just a moment. All right, everyone, we have tonight's starting pitcher, Kyle Freeland here. If you have questions for Kyle, go ahead and raise your hands and we'll get started. Danielle.
Hey, Kyle, just to start, just because we didn't talk to you on Wednesday, how much fun was it for you playing out in right field that night?
I didn't know that was going to be the first question. It was a blast. I mean, not many pitchers are able to, or even get the chance to do that. So being able to do that and get a win out of it, and contribute to the team as a pitcher that had almost zero chance to get in the game, it was a lot of fun. Being out there, especially in Wrigley with the history there, not an easy place to play. It was a blast to be able to be a part of that and be able to have the opportunity to do that.
Have you ever at like even little league t-ball ever played out in the outfield?
Oh yeah, I mean, growing up, played the positions that a lefty could play. I pitched, play first base, play the outfield. Once I got to high school, it was mostly center field and pitching. Try to get my college coach Wes Carroll to let me be a two-way at college, but he axed that pretty quick. But yeah, no, I've played outfield before.
Gotcha. Okay. And to your pitching tonight, how'd you feel tonight? Especially if your fastball, it looked especially good tonight.
Yeah, once again, everything was working well. Curveball again, fastball was good. Fastball got jumped a couple times, so we kind of had to adjust there when we started pitching, inside with the fastball. We had to be a little more careful after Turner and Smith clipped it a couple times. But yeah, overall, Arsenal was there, was working really well. Me and Diaz once again on the same pitch.
It feels like you're kind of, in this role right now where you've been able to build off your starts. Each one you improve a little bit. What do you kind of feel like is the next step for you?
Keep on being consistent. I'm not gonna try and do too much out there. There's no reason. I'm pitching well right now. The team's playing well behind me, and there's, in my mind, there's no reason to try and do more. When you start doing that, that's usually when things kind of go south for you. So I'm gonna stay right where I am and be as consistent as possible.
Thank you.
We'll go to Nick Roque.
Yeah, Kyle, obviously you're a very competitive pitcher. And maybe it's frustrating for you over time that maybe that you only get to be in a game every 5 days. But I mean, did it help this week that you got that? I mean, did that carry over at all tonight that you were able to be in a game? I mean, even briefly, like, were you a little bit ramped up?
I mean, I don't think it carried over. But like I said before, being able to contribute to a win and being able to go out and play right field and be a position player for a little bit, a true position player, it was a lot of fun. I don't think it carried over. There's coming into Dodger Stadium, playing against a World Series caliber team. That's motivation enough. I love pitching here. I love taking wins from these guys. I love beating them in their own park. So that's plenty of motivation for me.
Cool. Thanks, dude.
Mike Singer.
Hey, Kyle. You obviously seem pretty fired up that ninth inning when Carlos struck out the side. What was going through your mind as you're watching those final three outs?
I kind of felt like I was right there with Esty, just kind of grinding with him. Mookie got on, and we all know how the Dodgers can get rolling at the drop of a hat. And Esty did a great job of shutting that down and executing his pitches and getting guys to take bad swings and keep them really off balance. So he did an incredible job. And yeah, like I said just before, I love taking wins from these guys. And as I've been saying for the past couple of weeks, we're out here looking to ruin some people's seasons.
You never want to put more pressure on yourself. But given what you just said, do you feel more responsibility going into an environment like this and knowing the type of pitcher that you are to steal these games? Do you feel a little bit more onus on your shoulders?
Kind of like what I said, I'm not going to try and do too much. Obviously, I know the environment that is here in Dodger Stadium, the environment that's in San Diego and San Francisco. These are teams that have playoff history, have a fan base that is strongly behind them. So, going out there, I'm not going to try and do too much. At the same time, I know that it's going to be that much sweeter if we can pull out a win and, make them a little bit nervous.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Final questions for Freeland. All right, Kyle. Thanks for your time.
Thanks, guys.
We'll have Carlos Estevez coming up next. If you have questions for Carlos, go ahead and get your hands raised now, and we'll hop in as soon as he gets here. All right, everyone, Carlos Estevez here. We'll start with Nick Rowe.
Hey, yeah, Carlos. I know that you throw a changeup. Obviously, I mean I've seen it and it works. But you were especially aggressive tonight with the change. Like a 3-0 to Seager. I think you threw another one 3-1 even. Was that just something that you just felt today with the change, or was that a plan? How did that work?
I mean, everyone knows I got a really good fastball. I faced these guys for 6 years, a lot, and I think they know, they're aware of my fastball, they're aware of my pitches. But I felt like on that count, he was swinging out of his shoes. The tying run is at the plate. I don't think I just don't want to throw him a cookie right there on a 3-0 count, which nowadays everyone is swinging on that count. And I felt the changeup was a good pitch, and I just threw it.
When you opened the inning, it seemed like you were a little amped up. The ball to the backstop, and I mean you were throwing hard though too. Did you have to bring yourself down a little bit?
Oh yeah, of course. Still had to make my adjustments because, like you said, I was missing with the fastball, and even knowing I went right away with Mookie, like throwing strikes, and then the fastball was just coming out of my hand like really, really hard, fast, and I had Elias to give me the sign like, hey, dude, slow down, you're a little bit fast. And it's not like it's the first time that I have done it. Like I have done it before. He knows when I'm kind of like fast, so I had to step off and take my time.
Cool, thanks, dude.
Danielle.
Yeah. Buddy always says that pitching in the ninth is a completely different animal than every other inning. Do you feel the same way? Is that maybe why you're a little extra amped tonight?
I mean, of course, it's different, but still the same baseball game. The thing is, I think sometimes we are the ones that change, and we cannot let that happen. And it did happen earlier, but after that, I settled down. I got to where I wanted, and things went out well for us.
So you think it's just more, maybe like a little bit more pitchers putting a little bit more pressure on themselves in the ninth inning compared to other innings, maybe?
Excuse me, can you repeat that? I'm sorry.
Yeah. Do you just feel like maybe it's pitchers putting more pressure on themselves in the ninth inning versus other innings?
I mean, yeah, we have seen it before, and that's the thing. That's what I mean. The game is the same, where we are the ones that change sometimes, and that's what I mean with that. We gotta go back to our own self and just make the pitch and go pitch by pitch.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Any final questions for Carlos tonight? All right, I'll do it. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Sit tight, everyone. We might have one more for you. Give me just a minute and we'll make sure on it. Everyone will have Charlie Blackmon coming up in just a few minutes. If you have questions for Charlie, go ahead and raise your hands and we'll hop in when he sits down. All right, we're back, everyone. Chuck will be here in about 60 seconds, so we'll hop in when he sits down. We'll get started with Danielle. Right, outfielder Charlie Blackman here. We'll get started with Danielle.
Hi, Charlie. I think we talked about this a couple weeks ago after you hit your last home run. But when you hit the one tonight, did you know it would move you up in the franchise leaderboard?
No, what I do?
You're in 7th place now, all time.
That's cool. Tied with Tulo.
Yes. Yeah.
That's pretty neat. I know Tulo.
Yeah. I mean, you talked about last time how you you know a bunch of these players. I mean, so what does it mean to you when you kind of climb up the board a little bit like that?
Yeah, it's just really cool to, because I mean, you know, Tulo is such an unbelievable baseball player. He's one of the, you know, I saw him as one of the best in the game, and for a long time. And it's just really cool to be, you know, kind of mentioned in the same statistical category. So.
And then I know on Wednesday, after the doubleheader, there was a little bit of a team meeting that night. And I know you guys always do something after a win, but that game itself, you know, was a bit of a roller coaster and up and down. Do you kind of remember what you said to the team that night?
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, but I can't tell you. It was a really good win, like very hard fought game. There was lots of opportunity for us to get down on ourselves or lose hope, and we didn't. Really proud of the guys for that game. Just scratching out a win right there. I mean, that was just the ultimate competitive desire from our squad, and I'm really proud of them.
Do you think a lot of that rolled into the game tonight?
I think so. I mean, I think Kyle Freeland is certainly one of the most competitive guys I know, and he went out there and did a great job. Just unbelievable job. Earned that win, every bit of it, and then our bullpen was just incredible. You know, we scored just enough runs tonight, and our pitchers were just lights out.
Thank you.
We'll go to Nick Groke.
Yeah, Charlie, we've talked about this before. You're seeing a lot fewer fastballs this season, which I don't know. Maybe that's frustrating. I don't know. But your first pitch swinging on a 100-mile-per-hour fastball tonight, and for a home run. Are you especially eager when you do see them? Or did you just have a good grip about that at bat beforehand? How did that go?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's fewer and fewer situations where you have a good idea that a fastball is coming. I felt like he was going to throw me one there. And he did. He threw that pitch right down the middle, but I was ready for it. And then there's not a whole lot of other situations for the rest of the night where you have a good idea that a fastball is coming. So that certainly makes hitting harder.
And then I don't know what this is like for a batter, especially like you, but when you're seeing a lot fewer fastballs, beyond maybe being eager for them when they do arrive, are you less keyed on them? Are you more keyed on them because you're seeing fewer?
Well, I think the balls have changed this year, right? Like Rob changed the balls, and they move. It seems like they move more to me, right? Like they move more to me out of the pitcher's hand. And I think for that reason, it's harder to cover both fastball and off speed. And when guys are throwing fewer fastballs, so it's more of a 50-50 mix, it's really hard to cover both, especially with how well guys are pitching up in the zone and or throwing cutters, which kind of speed up on you. It's just hard to cover the whole gamut of timing. So you either have to like pick one or the other, or maybe sit in between and hope for a mistake. But less frequently, I feel like, than in the past, have I been able to just pick fastball. I think guys can't do that as much as they used to with how good the ball is pitched and how much the off speed moves now.
Gotcha. Thank you, Charlie.
All right, that'll finish us up for post game. Thanks everyone for hopping on. Talk to you tomorrow.